everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Okily dokily. Awful lot has happened over the last week. And I do apologise about the length of the videos today. Just trying to get a lot of the information out there and cover a few little topics. And you wouldn't believe it. Same card as I got in both of the other readings, the Judgment card. Judgment, huge awakening coming very rapidly. So what do I want to have a look at in this particular reading? First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all your support and messages of love and caring, and for each other as well. With the passing last week of Spotty. Yes, he is being absolutely sorely missed, but in another vein, we did have 12 months to get used to the idea. A lot of the grieving was done very early in the piece because the vet, when he was diagnosed over a year ago, said 6 weeks to 12 months. So a lot of the grieving was done in that first 6 weeks, and then he kept going. So wasn't it fabulous? And he lived every inch of his 12 months. Sneaks was here. I don't know, for those that have been with me for a while will remember the black and white tuxedo cat. She was Spotty's best buddy. They had spent, well, pretty much everything but that last 12 months of Spot's life together, because Sneaks was around before Spot. And they were bestest buddies, and Sneaks was prowling around the house for about 3 days before Spot's passing. So we were very prepared, and we knew that he was going to be in amazing hands. So thank you. Okay, before I start bawling my eyes out, what do I want to have a look in this particular reading? There's a lot that's been happening. Do not be distracted by the likes of Congress, some committee in Congress having a go at very highly respected virologist scientist who knows his stuff and could wipe the floor with them. There's a lot of other bits and bobs happening as well. Apparently the FIFA sell-off that was not actually public, it was leaked. The reporting of it was a leaking of this event, this being on the table, has been massive backlash and apparently has been abandoned. Well, guess who was behind that? Yeah, it wouldn't happen to have the surname of Kushner by any chance. Brother Joshua Kushner. Oh, goodness me. Talk about families of crims. What I do want to have a look at, and there's a few things that are happening at the moment. Apparently there was some really big, and I haven't even got it up, but I'm being reminded of it, some government investing, and I'm talking about billions of dollars being allocated to Cantor Fitzgerald. Well, who happens to have that? That happens to be Nutlick's son is in charge of that company. And you've also got Fleon getting a massive $1.6 billion contract. In exchange, he gave $120 million to the Republican PAC for the midterms, and I read on that in my first reading today. So there's a lot happening at the moment. But what I really want to look at, there's a lot happening, and it's because they are gambling the last roll of the money. So we've got here, as I split the deck shuffling it, I'm using the Tarot Grand Lux. I'll show you the box in a moment. We've got the Emperor, who was pretty much on his last legs, and that's what I want to have a reading on. And it is very much last roll of the dice to try and top up the piggy banks. So I'm using the Tarot Grand Lux. First up, I want to have a look at news came out on Friday. So, of course, it went under the radar with all the Fauci stuff, etc. On Friday, so what had happened is that the felon organisation, so apparently, the one that his sons run, Sniffy and Glue, had filed a lawsuit against a bank called Capital. Oh gosh, Ten of Swords. Talk about backfired badly. Filed a lawsuit against a bank called Capital One because the bank Capital One apparently had closed more than 300 felon affiliated bank accounts in 2021, I believe it was. They were claiming that, so the Sniffy and Glue felon organised Orange Idiot organisation filed a lawsuit against Capital One, probably thinking it was easy money, claiming that the bank accounts were closed because of woke beliefs and political discrimination. Of course they did, because that's their go-to. However, in Friday's court filings, Capital One had said it closed more than 300 of the felon-affiliated bank accounts for anti-money laundering reasons. Oh, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. So it's up there with the filings against the BBC and against the IRS, etc. It's all backfiring and unravelling on him. So this was Friday. So on Friday, Capital One said it launched a review after identifying transaction patterns that are among the type of activity flagged by the federal banking guidance, according to the anti-money laundering team. The filings did not accuse the felon or his company of wrongdoing. And the company said the decision to close the accounts was reached through a process led by anti-money laundering professionals with decades of law enforcement experience. So, I mean, pretty much they've said we're not going to accuse you of being guilty of it, but you're guilty of it, and that's why we closed the accounts. The felon organisation did not immediately respond to a request to comment. March 2021 apparently was when they first notified the felon organisation that they were going to close. In March 2025, the organisation and I Eat Glue, the second son, filed the lawsuit against the bank in Florida. Okay, talk about shoot yourself in the foot. Okay, what else am I reading on this? The presiding judge, Roy Altman, a felon appointee, oh God, that makes it even sweeter, had already dismissed an earlier version of the lawsuit in March, but gave the felon family the opportunity to submit an amended complaint, which they did. Oh my goodness. So pretty much he said, go away. You know, the felon appointed judge said, don't do this. And of course, in their idiocy, they did. And it's absolutely unravelled for them. This is a similar case to the one where the felon sued JP Morgan Chase Bank in regards claiming something similar. Okay, where am I going with this? I don't know. Let's have a look. Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Two of Coins. Page of Coins, Two of Coins as I'm shuffling. Information being brought forward about the money in stupid naivety. Talk about absolute, like the judge said to them, go away and hide. You know, you've got the little fawn there with the spots on. Go away, hide, take it away. I don't want to see it. Nah. Stupid gooses decided to continue, and now it's on full display, and it's to do with money laundering. Two of Coins, money laundering. They have been outed for money laundering. So where's this going to go? I mean, it's up there with so now I don't know how that's going, the investigation into the IRS lawsuit. Oh, we won't, with the then, you know, oh, we'll drop the lawsuit if you mean that we never, ever get investigated. And the judge said, hang on a minute. That ain't happening. And then the BBC sued the BBC, and of course, BBC then demanded the transactional records. Okay, so how's this Capital One lawsuit going to go? Uh-oh, too late to back out now. Yeah, the money trail, the 8 of coins, going to be revealed. Oh, idiots that they are. 8 of coins, the books, the money trail. Now, I've always gotten that the Felon organisation has 3 sets of books, the ones they use for the banks, the ones they used for the taxes, and the ones that are real. I don't know which ones are going to come out, but yeah, this is for me, and I've been saying for years, follow the money in regards to EPs. You know, it's all well and good to say he said, she said, and yes, we believe the survivors, but it is still just he said, she said. There is no denying the money trail, the money transactions. They cannot be fabricated, they cannot be disputed when they are in black and white in historical statements. So, yeah, follow the money trail. The challenge, some sort of announcement coming out of the White House. Why does that not surprise me? There might be an executive order ordering that this case be dropped or something along those lines. Yeah, 4 of Wands. This is some sort of executive order type thing coming out of the White House. Might even be a pardon of some sort or a threat. But yeah, this is an announcement coming from the White House. The energy it's stewing in at the moment is the gates open to walk through, but this part hasn't stepped through the gates yet into the light. So it's not at that stage yet. I mean, there's been the implication, is the word my guides are giving me, and the insinuation? No, that's not the right word. I can see the word. I can't think of how to, I can't get my tongue around it. When you're insinuating something. Insinuation. There you go. Thank you. There's the insinuation. It's been put out there. The reason why these accounts were closed was because of money laundering, but we're not saying that you were money laundering, but we're saying that the accounts were closed because, yeah, pretty much. So the energy that this case, I mean, it was only Friday that came out. The gates are open to step through out into the light, but hasn't done so as of yet. It's all about the money in the past. Money, 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 big money, 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 money. Everywhere you look, it's all about the money. Crowning the reading, you've got the Queen of Swords. I do not know who is bringing this case or prosecuting or what legal action is going to be taken in regards to this, but the judge is male, so it's not the judge. This might be prosecutor on the not felon side. I mean, they bought the court case against the bank. This could be a legal on a Capital One's legal person. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But they got the goods. They absolutely got the goods. The immediate future, the 9 of Wands, defeat. Surrender and defeat in the immediate future. I don't feel this is Capital One. I feel this is the Felon organisation, because look what he's sitting on. He's sitting on a coin. Defeat. 9 of Wands. Surrender to it. Protect the money that you've got left, perhaps. Because externally, this is going to be legal exposure of stealing is coming out. And justice. Oh, I like this. An attempt to steal. A trap being set potentially. There might be I mean, they fell into their own trap, to be honest. They set a trap and then fell into it. It's like they dug the bear pit and put the stakes in the bottom and then tripped over and fell into it themselves. They set some sort of trap and fell into it themselves, and now they are facing judgment. Actions have consequences. Facing judgment. Hopes and fears, the High Priestess. Secrets being revealed, hidden agendas being exposed. No hiding it any longer. Oh, this is great. And we've got the Queen of Wands as the outcome. This could be a ruling. The Ten of Cups, ending of the happy families. And the Devil, tied to the Devil. Four of Cups, so the Devil. Who is tied to this Devil? This could be the family corporation and its connections to this really nefarious energy, and the devil will always get its pound of flesh. The Four of Cups, they had it all, but, and then you've got the Star, Three of Pentacles, dark money, King of Cups, the Emperor. This feels like Fleon, Starlink and Fleon. This is almost like looking for help. Starlink, dark money, Fleon, the Emperor. But things are going to come out regardless really quickly. The veil is thinning with the Two of Swords there. You've got the Empress, that could be the Ruskies. This could be investigation into links with the Ruskies. Remembering that, was it 2014 or thereabouts, I Eat Glue, the second son, made the statement of, we don't need the banks anymore, we've got the Russians. Could be investigation into connections with that coming forward very quickly. And death, bringing about an ending. Gosh, death. I mean, the felon hasn't got long to go himself. So, yeah, they've done themselves a doozy here. This may even be, with that Ten of Cups and the Death card, the ending of the Trump org. What I'm getting is they're going to try and put the brakes on it. Sorry, ain't going to work. It's going to turn out like the BBC case where the felon sued the BBC as a private citizen, and that backfired when the court then turned around and said, well, give us, all the financials for 400 companies or something to prove your point. And they're not going to let that go, the BBC. And then you had the IRS one as well. That's backfired as well. They ain't going to let that one go as well. So much trouble, the whole family. And does mean that they're getting more desperate. And then, of course, the money they owe the Ruskies, the money they owe the Saudis, then there's the is not real intelligence, blah, 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 blah. Talk about glad I'm not in that mess. Couldn't pay me enough to be so. Okay, what I'm going to have a look at is Shady. Shady, JD, man of many names. Goodness me, how much paperwork's he going to have to take to the polling booth? Here's my birth certificate. Here's this name change, and here's this name change, and here's this other name change, and this is the... Bet he doesn't, but anyhow. Shady has apparently just recently signed a lease for 500 acres, which, it's not that big really. I mean, it sounds big, but, it's, it's, in Australia we talk about properties being in square kilometres or square miles, not acres. The little hobby farms are in acres, but 500 acres. Apparently it's got 4 houses on it. One's for Usha and the kids, and Shady, I assume. One is for his Secret Service. I suspect one is for her parents. They're helping with the kids, perhaps. But I want to have a look. Now, when I saw this, that Shady had signed this lease, I got that it, what did I note down here? I got that it was for protection, like clear fields around to be able to see. Now, why would the supposed VP, who has a house in Washington, D.C., that I'm assuming has pretty good protection, has also recently been living on a military base that I assume has pretty good protection. Why would they want 500 acres, especially when you've got the missus and kids who are very cosmopolitan? They're not farming folk. They're not there with the gumboots and the straw hat type thing. They're not farming folk. They like their cosmopolitan lifestyle. Why has Shady got this property? Oh, he is really anxious. Okay, I'm going to go with these cards that fell out because I don't think you can get any better. 9 of Swords. Anxiety in spades. He knows. And you've got this demon outside the window here looking in. He knows that surveilled, but he's really he's not sleeping. Now, I always get that it'll be Rubio. I mean, if Shady gets in as VP, I've been getting this, goodness, 18 months now. Shady gets in as VP, it will be for a nanosecond before he's ousted, and then Rubio's put in. Now, I know the secession. Don't come at me about the Constitution and the secession. This regime has done nothing by the Constitution and the legal law of things. I don't know how Rubio is going to get put in, but JD's really anxious that he's being surveilled and they're coming for him. Now, I don't quite know who they is, but yeah, he is really worried because the next card, the High Priestess, the hidden agenda. So he knows something about this hidden agenda. He is really worried. Was he at the Camp David meeting over the weekend? I didn't look. I saw Rubio and Keggs, Narco and Keggs were there, but I didn't see, I mean, Shady may have been. I'm going to have a look at that in a minute too, because the felon despises Camp David. So why would he be going there? And I've got a theory on that. But yeah, there's a hidden agenda. The Ace of Wands, a new plan, a fiery new plan, but a big stick moment. And then the Tower, the collapse. He knows. He can read the writing on the wall. I mean, we can as well. The train's about to hit those bumpers at the end of the track. But look at these. Anxiety, hidden agenda, big stick, fiery moment, Tower card. Throwing under the bus, the infighting with that 5 of Wands. Volatile information being brought forward. And trying, I think with this one, he's trying to protect, believe it or not, he's trying to protect his family because he knows it's the end of the road. There's something here where he knows it's the end of the road. Do not be surprised if I don't know if he can resign or quite what, but on the bottom, the underlying energy, the Queen of Swords, a new strategy that's in planning in regards to the government, the Hierophant. So he knows, so why is he? Because he is either going to out himself, like oust himself, or he is going to be ousted. Do not be surprised if he uses an excuse about with the new baby or something. I mean, he's the first VP in like a million years that has an unexpected announcement coming out of left field about a young person with that Page of Cups. So do not be surprised if he steps. I don't know how he can do it. Do not ask me how it can be done. It's just what I'm getting. Do not be surprised. There is an announcement about him stepping down as VP, blaming something on the kidlets, perhaps the new baby. I don't know whether it's got some sort of perhaps medical issue or something. I'm assuming it's not Down syndrome because they would have picked that up during pregnancy. But there might be some issue there. So, or they might just claim an issue because, to be honest, I mean, that's the number one reason politicians give for stepping down in Australia. I don't know about work elsewhere, but, to spend more time with the family. Okay, so I suspect, and what did I see there? Oh, yeah, the uncharted waters with the Fool, but I also saw the Five of Cups peeking out as well. Absolutely, in completely uncharted waters with the Fool, unknown, about to step off on a new journey. Okay, I want to have a look about why Camp David. I get an idea. So we had the Lindsay funeral. Now you notice that the BB figure was looking through his eyebrows just about the whole time. Yep. Let me look through the eyebrows. Which I said if it was the double, that's what he would do. There's no reason for him not to have his chin up when he's talking. But no, even when he was talking to people there, it was through the eyebrows. What I want to have a look at is why Camp David. So we had Lindsay's funeral. You'll notice that the orange idiot, and I call him that because he's orange and he's an idiot, was not in the mingling thing, where the BB figure was talking to, passing on a message to Kegs and Narco. And apparently a lip reader said that apparently the BB figure said, we can't talk here or we'll talk later or something along those lines. Yeah, you've got the three figures and the 3 cups spilt walking away. So, 3 figures here and 3 cups spilt and walking away. When I'm talking about Lindsay's funeral, 3 in the inner circle who are abandoned and being walked away from. I mean, that could be the felon, Shady, and another of that ilk as they walk towards this new beginning. I want to ask, so at the funeral, in the hall or whatever it was where they were sitting down. No, he wasn't sitting on a puppy pee pad. He was sitting on the program, but sweating. Oh my goodness, he was glistening with sweat. Nobody else was. Wasn't hot in there. So obviously his sweating, burning up. And that's part of the internal decay that is happening. So the Ace of Wands and a new plan. So a new plan being formulated with that Two of Wands as he's about to go through the pearly gates. So sweating profusely. Tried to put the Tic Tac in his mouth and missed. Like, how can you miss putting a Tic Tac in your mouth? And so disrespectful, laughing and chatting with others, sitting in the front row while the service was on. Highly disrespectful to have the Tic Tacs in the first place. So why was he having a Tic Tac? Because he knew his breath smelt. Okay. Wasn't just his breath. There was a figure that was behind him. I don't know who that was. That was pretty much, oh, hold my nose, looking absolutely disgusted and horrified at the smell. Now, I'm just going to reiterate, I think I said this in my first video today about Fleon and chit chat. When the body is decaying in old age, and I hate to say this because we all get old, you notice, I mean, we often call it the old person smell. And it's sort of a musty smell, but it can also be a sour smell. And you sort of go, oh, that's because they haven't, showered as often as they should or something. But it's not necessarily. When the body is internally decaying, it comes out through the pores. The smell comes out through the pores. And he was sweating profusely. So therefore, it was coming out through the skin. He has been kept alive at least 18 months long, 2 years longer than he should have been. So therefore, his body is literally breaking down within, and the smell of it is coming out through his skin. He then slept during the funeral, but then they very quickly whipped him off afterwards. I think he spent a night rage posting or something. And then he got whipped off pretty much straight away to Camp David. Now, what I got when I saw that he was taken to Camp David to get him out of the spotlight, to get him out of the public view, with a claim of it being for a cabinet meeting and all the rest of it. Pretty sure they've got those facilities at the White House. But yeah, claiming it was for a cabinet meeting. But I got that it was to get him out of view and then for secret discussions to take place because they can't trust the White House. It's bugged to the rafters. Trust me, everybody knows everything that's going on in there. They can't trust the White House. So there was some secret discussions that were going on, and it was to get the felon out of view. And there is some sort of one-on-one arrangement, agreements being made. These are not contractual. These are discussions that are happening where it's like a handshake deal. So why Camp David? Come on down, let's have a look. Sorry, again, I've been waffling for ages. Right, the 6 of coins. Why Camp David? The initial signifier is the 6 of coins. This is one of my vote flipping cards, which is election stealing pretty much, vote flipping. But it's also weighing up, who am I going to being weighed up and found lacking. Thank you. In the final, being found lacking is just what my guides are telling me, being found lacking. Okay. And yeah, there's that 5 of Cups, challenged by regret, emotional regret. It's almost like, so the felon himself has been pretty much trained up for the last 40 years to be in the position he is now. There is regret that they backed the wrong one for 2015, because was Rubio running for 2015 as well? There's this regret that they backed the wrong. I mean, if it had been Rubio, it would have been obvious it was stolen because no one would have voted for him. Yeah, regret that they backed the wrong horse here. Okay, why Camp David? There's 2 vote flipping cards in the deck, and this is the second one, the 2 of coins. A discussion about remembering that during last week, Fleon, Space Boy, Tesla, Starlink, whatever you like to call them. I call him Fleon because he's a parasite. Was called upon, given a big government contract, 1.6 billion. He returned 120 million of it into the Republican super PAC or whatever it is. But he's back on board. So I've got my 2 vote flipping cards and emotional regret here. I think, it's almost like, okay, we can't get him over the line. We backed the wrong horse in the end. We regret it. What are we going to fandangle now? The regret, the 9 of Wands in the past. The guardrails standing, unable to break down the last bastions there and having to surrender in the past. What do we got here? The money trails that are all coming out with the 5 of coins, the immediate future, the star. This could be Fleon. Again, pouring from 2 jugs, manipulating. The Knight of Swords, a harsh reality coming forward, and the Moon about secrets being revealed. So this was very much a planning strategy. Wasn't cabinet. I mean, I know they televised supposedly, but there was so much more than that. Hopes and fears on the back foot, having to defend the outcome. The Knight of Coins, the Mercenary, the Sun card being exposed, and then the legal restriction, the 8 of Swords, and then the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands and the end of the trail for those that have been stuffing their piggy banks with that 10 of coins, as there is a lot of information coming out with that 8 of Wands that they cannot control, and then you've got the 5 of Wands, the infighting, throwing under the bus. Agreements and partnerships made. You've got the King of Coins, which is the Felon, the Orange Idiot, and then you've got the King of Wands. Somebody new, 3 kings. Somebody new coming forward. Action being taken. And then you've got the King of Swords. Who are these 3 kings that are battling against each other? Could be Rubio, Shady, Orange Idiot. Could also be Fleon, who thinks that he deserves the position. There were backroom deals done about who wants to step up into the role next, and you're just ending up in this infighting as secrets are revealed. Yeah, there was some planning going on, because there is this regret about who they backed, because it's not coming to fruition. They're not going to make it. He's taking them down with him. Okay, let's... Oh, boy. So, yeah, it was to get the Orange Idiot out of the public eye and do the... when you're at a conference and most of the deals are done and the discussions are had during the breaks, the lunch break and the dinner afterwards, and over a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, that's when most of the connections are made. And that's what this Camp David thing was coming to agreements about who. I just get... I'm getting two-faced. Like there was, yeah, I'm with you. Actually, I'm with you, but hey, yeah, what can you give me? There was wheeling and dealing that was being done. but it wasn't honest. It wasn't ethical. What's the word? You know, when a handshake was enough back in the day? Yeah, it wasn't that. Okay. Have a look at the orange idiot's health. Do not be distracted by the attacks on Dr. Fauci. Do not be distracted about the mass swarming of paid migrants into the little top of Morocco there that happens to just be a little bastion of Spain. Do not be distracted by the sale of FIFA. Do not be distracted. Orange idiots. Health. What do we need to know? I know it's a horrible topic, but anyhow, come on, let's have a quick look. Just a couple of cards. Knight of Swords, a harsh truth. He's down for the count. Nine of Wands. And you've got the Hierophant. An announcement coming out of the White House. Defeated. Health is down on the ground. You've got a pentacle on the ground there, even though it's the Wands card. Nine of Swords. Five of Swords. Anxiety about what's next. This is why Shady's got this 500 acres. And the Five of Swords, the internal battles, the win at any cost. And then the Ace of Wands. A big announcement coming out that he is restricted within his own mind. I've always gotten that he'll spend a period of time. It may be days, it may be weeks, maybe months, that he's going to spend a period of time, could be 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, of trapped in his own body. I've been seeing for years, 2 years at least now, if not longer, of him in a military medical facility, sitting in a grey vinyl wing-backed armchair next to a huge picture window, and he's picking on the piping on the arm of the chair. And he's mutter about how it's everybody else's fault and nobody visits, and he's just stuck there. Staff don't care about him. They'll take care of the basic needs, but yeah. And I've been seeing that image for years now, and it should have happened about 2 years ago, but medical intervention, gotta love it, don't you? Okay, yeah, going to be some huge announcement about his intellectual entrapment, but before that happens, there's this strategy, anxiety, boogie monster stuff. I got this with Shady with his 500 acres, and then the fight with the Five of Swords. The fight is on for who gets the top dog position. The Knight of Swords, harsh truth being revealed, having to accept defeat with that Nine of Wands in regards to his health. And we've got, well, it could be illusion all about the White House. We know they've been practicing with Mitch. Proof of life, yeah, right. Absolutely not. But also just even the other body doubles that are floating around. Apparently there's been at least 8 or 9 Putin ones that have been identified. Pretty sure BB's one for the public events. Always head down looking through the eyebrows. You'll notice he has his head up when it's a videoed release, but when it's public, it's always down. I don't think the Orange Idiot himself has a double as such. He has a photograph from a distance with a white shirt and a red hat on the golf course on the back, 14th or whatever, double, but nothing for actually close up. Okay, let's see how it plays out. Again, sorry, long video. Yeah, back on the horse. It's gonna be an interesting week. It's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks. Okay, I shall catch you shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.